We are back, I hope everyone, and we move on with another topic, parasitosis in sport horses in Italy, presented by Luisa Meloni, University of Sassari. So go ahead, please, Luisa.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Do you see the slide?
Perfect.
Okay. Equids are exposed to a large number of parasites during their lifetime. The main gastrointestinal parasitosis is caused by gastrointestinal strongyle that include small and large strongyle and two different species of Parascaris, Parascaris sequorum and Parascaris univalens. Gastrointestinal strongyles infection are an important concern considering their worldwide distribution and negative impact on animal health and performance. Although horses can harbor significant worms burdens without showing clinical symptoms, specific syndromes have been ascribed to infection caused by cytosomines and large strongyle. Because of their high pathogenic role, large strongyle and in particular Strongylus vulgaris were used as the primary target of anthelmintic treatment. Today, these parasites are not longer commonly reported in domestic horses, and selective therapy has been associated with an increased prevalence of this parasite. Cytosomine or small strongyles are less pathogenic but more common and abundant, and are considered the most problematic group of helminths, as they were blamed for about 30% of deaths in animals. The most emergence of cytosomines larvae in the large intestine can cause larval cytostominosis. This is characterized by watery diarrhea, dehydration, and ventral eczema, with a case fatality rate around 15%. Because of their large diffusion and increased level of anthelmintic resistance, small strongyle are considered the main target of parasite control strategy. Whole liquid should be regularly screened and only those expressing a predetermined strongyle fecal eggs count threshold should be treated.
Vai.
The two parasite species instead cause an important disease in your system, equinocariosis. In fact, this parasite can be found in up to 100% of cases, and according to its severity and stage, is characterized by nasal distress, coughing, or a rough or bristly eye coat, slow growth, and occasional small intestine rupture following the heavy accumulation of worm. Nevertheless, the main clinical finding related to Parascaris infection is small intestinal impaction. Typically, ascariosis is defined as an infection caused by Parascaris sequorum. However, in the USA, Switzerland, and Sweden, Parascaris univalens has recently been recognized as the dominant species affecting horses. Meteoroparascaris famous are particularly fertilian, with can lead to high fecal eggs count and significant soil and pasture contamination, even in the case of limited parasite burden. Overall, a single infection horses has been reported to be able to output upward of 50 million eggs per day. Furthermore, eggs of Parascaris can survive in the external environment, for example, pastures, paddock, boxes, etc., for more than 1 year. Recently, survey on the therapeutic plan applied by Italian horses breeder for the control of ascariosis highlights that antihelmintic treatment is administered without prior fecal examination in 5.3% of cases and in 57.8% with dosage based solely a visual vague estimation of the animal. Furthermore, only 21.3% of the farmers generally remove horses fecal from pasture as part of ascariosis prophylaxis. Full ascariosis control programs are based on year-round monthly rotational antihelmintic treatment with benzimidazole and microcyclic lactones. However, antihelmintic resistance to microcyclic lactones probably due to intensive use of this drug has been widely reported since 2002, while recent reports have suggested antihelmintic resistance to pyrantel salts and benzimidazole drug to be present as well. Today, but since the 18th, in Italy, there has been a constant increase in the levels of antihelmintic resistance, in particular in equine cytostomins, make the design of adequate control program very challenging. Despite the large number of horses read in Italy, in the literature there are only few papers concerning the spread of this parasite. For this reason, our research team decided to depend this topic with two large-scale epidemiological analyses on horses' gastrointestinal nematodes. The aim of this study is therefore to update the epidemiological situation of the two main gastrointestinal parasites in Italian sport horses and at the same time to evaluate the presence of minor gastrointestinal parasites such as Oxyuris equi and different species of Anaplocephala. In this study, carried out thanks to the Ratio for Diagnostic Support project in collaboration with Acme Drugs, we examined a total of 1,570 sport horses from all Italy, from January 2017 until today, using copromicroscopical analysis. Individual rectal fecal samples collected during routine veterinary examination were sent vacuum packed in refrigerated containers to the Parasitology laboratory of the Department of the Veterinary Medicine of the University of Sassari through an express carrier within 3 days after collection. Each fecal X was accompanied by a form filed by the sampling veterinary with the horse's date, including age, sex, housing condition, and stable. Coprological examination was carried out through the modified McMaster method using a sodium chloride supersaturate solution with a specific gravity 1.2 with a detection limit of 15 x per gram. Through this method, we were able to highlight not only the presence of the most representative parasitic genera, that is small and large strongyles and parascary species, but also the possible presence of cestode and Oxyuris equi. Furthermore, for analysis of small and large strongyles, horses were allocated into 5 classes according to the egg expression. Log infestation, in which there were less than 200 eggs per gram. Mild infestation, in which there were from 200 to 1500 eggs per gram. Moderate infestation, in which there were from 1500 to 1600 eggs per gram. High infestation, in which there were from 600 to 1000 eggs per gram, and severe infestation, in which there were more than 1000 eggs per gram. An overall prevalence of 59.36% of parasite eggs was found in the feces of animals examined in this study. Data processed according to age group show how the prevalence that significantly decreased with increasing age. while the elaboration based on sex, it shows a prevalence of 52.77% in females, significantly higher in the male. Observing the data processed for the individual parasite, it is possible to note how age and sex are relevant both for the diffusion of strong iles and for the different species of Parascaris. 46.9% of the horses examined tested positive of strongylosis, and higher prevalence rates were found in horses aged between 1 and 4 years. Prevalence values stratified for sex showed a significantly higher prevalence in females than in males. In addition, fecal X count values exceeding 200 were found in 23.2% of the animal examined. The prevalence of horses tested positive for the genus Parascaris is 6.91%, but fall under 1 year of age showed a prevalence of 47.5%. The data processed according to the age group also show that falls are the main eliminator of X, and that the prevalence significantly decreases with increasing age. Also, the mean X program levels are higher in young horses, with an average of 720.9 X program in horses that 1 year of age. Also, for Ascarid, we highlight slightly higher prevalence rate in female, with 5.29% positivity than in males, but this difference is not statistically significant. Minor parasite showed a prevalence of 0.59% for the genus Onoplocephala and 0.07 for Oxyuris sequi. The present study reported the result of a large-scale epidemiological survey, which allow us to affirm how even today gastrointestinal strongyle and Parascaris are still widespread in our nation. In particular, we observe that the prevalence of gastrointestinal strongyle, equal to 46.9%, are in line with other recent studies carried out in Italy, which reported prevalence ranking for 39.5% to 67.4%. Our results show that younger equid under the age of 40 years had a higher fecal X count than in adults. Similar results have also been reported in the Uniss, Denmark, and in Spain. This suggests, therefore, that young animals could be considered as marker of this infection and should thus be carefully monitored. Data stratified by sex showed a significantly higher prevalence in females, as reported in other surveys, indicating it is likely that pregnancy, birth, and lactation cause stress, which make females more sensitive than males. This may also be determined by the close and longer contact between the mares and their foals. In fact, foals are more efficient at shedding eggs. This could also be explained by the fact that the stallion have less access to pasture and are thus of minor risk of infection. Our survey shows that 23.5% of horses had a count of strongyle sex of 4 grams of feces, higher to 200, which is the suggested anthelmintic treatment cutoff. This confirms that just a small percentage of horses are responsible for pasture contamination. This is important because the egg shedding level determines how intensely a given equid should be exposed to an anthelmintic drug, and only also that exceed a value of 200 X per gram should be treated. The overall prevalence of Parascaris, equal to 66.9%, found in horses screened in this study, is in line with what was reported in a survey carried out in Italy between 2015 and 2016. As well as the prevalence of genius of Parascaris sex found in foals with less than years, equal to 47.5%. That highlight with the result of previous study carried out in the UK, which showed a prevalence of 38%. Most likely, this is due to significant depend and activity immunity of foals, which seems to develop at around 6 months of age. Considering that the different species of Parascaris mean fecal X count value of 209 X per gram reported in the UK from foals younger than 1 year, how much higher value was found in Italy in the present, showing an average of 720.9. In accordance with the result reported in other papers, the present A for gram mass does decrease with increasing age. Regardless, despite this decreasing trend, the average number of fecal eggs in other horses should not be underestimated, as this could represent a significant source of environmental contamination and may pose a risk of to younger animals. Especially found with the youngest age group could be at risk as they are likely to ingest ascarid eggs with suckling the mare and exploring the immediate environs. In conclusion, the result of this survey show how strong eyes and equine ascariosis as parasite still widespread in Italian sport horses, especially in young animals. Furthermore, the prevalence of the number of fecal eggs shedding by horses over 6 years of age should not be underestimated, as this animal represents a possible source of continuous reinfestation responsible for significant environmental contamination and horizontal transmission. Thus, these horses can be considered egg shedder, posing a severe health challenge for young animals. This finding highlights the need to improve control strategy, which should become less dependent on unhelminting cues and more relied on management-based control within equine rearing practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Luisa.
Thank you.
There are some questions for Luisa? No. I guess I have a curiosity, Luisa. If you could say more about, for example, if they were treated, the horses that you've been analyzed, if yes, what is the impact, and in the view also of the resistance of anti-helminthing resistance in both Ostrongyles and Parascaris.
Okay, we are working on this, but the results are not complete. Okay.
Okay.
And so, this is a really interesting topic, and Sally, we will work on this. If you want, I can send you my contact, and we can discuss it in the future later.
Okay, right. Thank you very much, Luisa.